Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today with me on the program, a guy who's anything but ordinary. You know this cat. It's Chris Corne.
Hello all.
Chris, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for another episode. This is getting to be pretty a cool event.
I was asking Google Gemini earlier this week what we could do to really help improve the growth of the channel, right? And it had a couple ideas, but one of the things that I thought was really insightful, as AI can be, was instead of like focusing on some higher end bottles that are allocated and harder to get. I mean, we'll sprinkle those in, but let's look at the kind of drinks that we might enjoy on a day-to-day basis.
All right.
Drinks for the ordinary guy. All right.
Great. I mean, it matches up real well.
It really does.
When you're looking for a bourbon, if there's a purpose, an event, maybe you get something special, maybe something hard to get. Maybe you just travel through a state that has something, but day to day, it might get boring getting your same old bourbon every single time. Like Greg, been on this show many times. Wild Turkey, right? For a long time.
He loves Wild Turkey 101.
Hey, God bless him. But once in a while, you're like, hey, what's this one like? What's this one like? And hopefully we shed a little bit of information, a little bit of, hey, what we think, and take away some of the fears like, yeah, don't want to drop an extra $40 on something you don't like. And, when it comes down to the taste and the smokiness and the vanilla and all that crap, at the end of the day, it's just a drink.
That's right.
Let's find out if it's worth it.
Well, let me tell you what we've got on the horizon today, right? And it's an ordinary guy's drink. This is Jim Beam Double Oak, right? And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I got excited when I was doing the research for this.
Okay.
Right? So Jim Beam Double Oak, the press release from September 1st, 2016, announced the release of Jim Beam Double Oak, calling it, quote, an exceptional and perfectly balanced Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, finished in oak that is twice barreled to create richer and woodier flavors than other whiskeys. TastingTable.com in 2024 ranked every bottle of Jim Beam from worst to best, written by Kenny Jarvis, and placed Jim Beam Double Oak as the #1 offering from Jim Beam, calling it Jim Beam's, quote, finest expression within the Jim Beam whiskey portfolio, and stating that it has a depth you don't find with any of Jim Beam's other regular releases.
That portfolio goes pretty high.
I think there were 13 different samples
right.
that they had in this. This product actually starts off with the exact same as Jim Beam's flagship white label product.
No way, not the same white label that
exact same.
me and you last shared.
That's right. Mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley.
You can't go wrong with a high corn mash bill.
That's right. It's aged a standard 4 years, just like the white label.
Okay.
But then it's transferred into a second, freshly charred oak barrel for additional aging. According to josephbourbon.com, the second time in the barrel is, quote, aged to taste, although it's widely considered to be an additional 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
There are other products that offer double oak liquid. Woodford Reserve Double Oak retails for about $55 to $60.
So, what type of adder was that?
Well, hold on, we'll get there.
All right.
Old Forester 1910 retails for about the same, $55 to $60.
Okay.
Kentucky Peerless Double Oak typically costs between $90 and $100. Right? This is $22.
Okay.
Right. So that $22 price point really is something special for this production process. Remember, both of the barrels used have to be virgin barrels. So to double oak a product and still call it a bourbon, the manufacturing cost increases by the cost of one new charred oak barrel.
Okay.
Granted, distilleries have immense buying power, but if each barrel costs between $150 and $450, and the yield from each barrel is between 150 and 200 fifths, the added material in the process alone adds between 75 cents and $3 per bottle. Okay?
All right.
So that's not counting labor, additional handling, labeling, distribution, the time in the rick house, right? That's just the difference in the production process.
Okay. Taxes.
What's that?
No taxes. No
That's right.
tax. Okay.
So this is where I got stuck. There are a lot of bourbon gimmicks out there, right? Things like bourbon aged on a pirate ship or whatever, right?
I hear you.
It's ridiculous. But here's where I got hung up. The manufacturing process for Jim Beam Double Oak adds a nominal increase, as does the cost of aging, labor, and logistics of managing the additional SKU, right?
Okay.
So let's call it $3 to $4 per bottle increase.
Sure.
The price differential between Jim Beam White Label and Jim Beam Double Oak is $4, $18 to $22.
That's
So
less than the variation of state to state.
I can follow that math all day long. Even Ken Pluff can follow that math, right?
Ken.
Now, let's look at the difference between Woodford Reserve and Woodford double oaked bottle. At the local liquor store, Woodford Reserve's flagship offering was $36.99. Actually, it was on sale for $32.99, but
Okay.
while the double oaked version was $59.99. That's a 62% markup, or $23 per bottle price increased. Right? Same with Old Forester. Old Forester 86 proof is priced at $26.99. The double oaked 1910 version was priced at $54.99. That's a 103% markup, $28 per bottle.
If you can get it, good deal.
If you love these products, and Woodford Reserve Double Oak is a delicious drink, right? If you love the products, and they're great. You know, I'm not going to steer you away from them, but the economics are hard to ignore,
Right.
right? I mean, $4 increase for what they put into the production process. You know, granted, I'm sure they got. I think Jim Beam used to own their own cooperage. I think they sold it, but nevertheless, they're putting a lot of liquid in barrels.
Yeah.
Right.
They are.
So let's get back to the product. Jim Beam Double Oak. It's bottled at 86 proof.
Okay.
Although the derivation of the product was first introduced in 2016, the Jim Beam lineage certainly is not new, dating back to 1795. The specific mash bill for White Label and for this dates back to sometime between 1935 and 1943. It's available damn near everywhere, right? Here's something new. In addition to my normal research, which is, as I've said many times, not very in-depth, I've also trolled through some of my colleagues on YouTube to hear their reviews.
Okay.
Right? And I say colleagues only from the standpoint that we're both on YouTube.
Gotcha.
Right? These people.
That's a wide audience.
Well, these creators, I mean, we're new. We're growing, right? These are established powerhouses in the bourbon review space.
Okay.
And all of their channels, I watch them, I follow them, they're fantastic, right? But let's just look at what they had to say. Brad's Bourbon Review, that's 10.7 thousand subscribers.
Okay.
He describes Jim Beam Double Oak as indescriptibly sweet and kinda oaky, and calls it the most boring double oaked I've ever had on the nose. There's not much going on there. He does like the banana notes because Brad likes all things banana, he said. He scores it a 6.1.
Okay.
He also said indescriptibly, and that's not a word. Casks and Q, 6,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Calls it one of the best double oaked bourbons on the shelf at the price point, but also calls it a great solid, I would not say great, but it's a solid everyday sipper.
Okay.
That's what he said. 6.75 out of 10. Rex and Daniel from Whiskey Vault, 446,000 subscribers. Had an interesting review. They say that Double Oak, quote, rounded out the mid palate when compared to Jim Beam White Label, and they both liked Double Oak better than the original, calling it robust.
Okay. Hey, some of these terms you're using, they're not terms we use on this.
That
you use.
That's true.
on
That's
the
true.
channel. So
We're different audiences, right?
Yep.
Jason from Mash and Dram. I really like Mash and Dram,
All right.
by the way. 103,000 subscribers. I'm one of those. Noted the youthfulness of the product, but then compared it side by side with Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, which was interesting.
Okay.
In doing so, he commented that Jim Beam Double Oak was actually winning it in the finish a little bit, while Woodford Double Oaked was more rounded. Ultimately, Jason said it was a solid bourbon, but there was better stuff out there,
Okay.
right? So,
You know, I'm thinking about, it was just a couple episodes ago that we did Jack Daniels and Jim Beam.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So what's the incremental value in this $4 change in price in the experience, right? That's what I'm thinking of right now.
Yep,
That's where my mind is when we try this.
That's right.
Like, hey, for an extra $4,
Yeah.
which is a rounding error when you as you throw the money out.
that's right.
Does it bring value? So like, hey, if I had a choice, can I do this? So that's what I'm looking to think.
Well,
to do.
let's get after it then.
All right.
We've got our neat sample. Cheers to you, Chris.
Cheers to you. No, I don't. Banana? I don't know.
I don't even know what you're doing there with your nose.
Well, someone said banana. I don't know.
Yeah, and that guy, he didn't like it. He didn't like it at all. That was Brad's Bourbon Review. I like his channel though.
Hey,
But everyone has a different way of tasting things.
I'm seeing a bit more oakiness or a little bit of smoke on it versus the white. So I can see that right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a little more of a robust flavor.
It has changed, which is the intent.
Yeah.
Okay, it is the intent. All right.
I like it more than White Label, I'll tell you that much. Right?
I can already agree with that. Okay. So I think I've told you in the past, this is the way that drink just a daily.
With Coke, yeah.
It's a Diet Coke, right?
Yeah.
Sugar's out of the way, just Diet Coke. I'll try it that way.
I had a lot of references in that research I did. I might have to publish a bibliography.
Yeah, we'll grade you on footnotes later.
Well, and I've never done footnotes correctly. What's there? There's a certain format.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't remember that?
I didn't go to college.
No, this was in like high school. Like it was a certain type of you had to have footnotes that were like I don't know. Let's get into the scoring.
You got it.
Right. First is Heritage, maximum 15. Obviously, Jim Beam as a product has been around.
Yeah.
Again, the mash bill for this, and we covered this during the Jim Beam Jack Daniels review. The mash bill wasn't really finalized until 1935, 1943.
Okay.
Right, and this was released in 2016.
Yeah. When you're evaluating something from one of these historical powerhouse distillers, I don't care what you think of the flavor, the taste, the presentation, the price, the heritage. You can't drop too far because what are you going to compare it to? You're going to compare it to a contract distiller that.
That's right.
So because of that, I know what I'm scoring here.
What are you going with?
It's a 15.
You're going top notch, top banana.
I am.
Okay. I'm going to mark it down just a little bit. I marked it down to a 12.
Okay.
I think that recognizes the Jim Beam lineage, but also, all these bourbon companies, I don't know if any of them have distilled with the same recipe from 1700. I doubt it.
Okay.
Right? I doubt it. But this product being new, mark down a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like we rescued a bottle from the bottom of a ship.
That's right.
That crashed in, off Jamestown.
That's right.
Okay, so here we go.
Taste and drinkability, maximum 40.
One more of the straight.
I think my sample with the water is too watered down, I think. I don't know if my ice cubes melted too fast.
So I don't know what their double oaked char is.
It's a number 3 char, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Totally. Like, is it alligator char?
I think
is it toasting?
It's 35 seconds. It's a number 3 char.
That sounds like me and the wife. But
I'm sorry for your wife.
Yeah, I hear you. I got a number here, and I don't remember what I did the white at. But there is more. The process step they added changed the product. It changed the product in expected directions. Like it's a little bit smokier, a little bit more wood. It stood up here in this drink just fine. If I remember from the last episode that we did together, Jack Daniels beat it, and it was because probably the additive process that makes it not bourbon, I think, was value add. I wish I remember the score I gave it, but
no, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you what you gave it.
Okay.
For the score for Jim Beam White Label, you gave it a 16 out of 40.
That makes sense. I know what I was about to give.
And you gave Jack a 19.
Okay.
I gave Jim Beam White Label a 30, and I'm giving this a 32.
We were way off on that, but I'll still step in the direction that I think this deserves.
And that is?
I'm at a 21.
Okay. Affordability, this $22 price point.
My gosh.
Maximum 20.
My guy. You're out there and you got 40 quid in the wallet.
Yep. I don't know what a quid is.
Yeah, this is great.
It's a quid a dollar, or is that a pound?
I don't know. A dollar.
Sounds British.
We'll just say $1.
Sounds British.
Yeah, maybe I watched too much Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So you think it's back score, you think? I mean, there's cheaper things. There's mellow corn,
which I like.
Yeah.
By the way,
there's what high 10 high.
It has corn in the label.
Yeah. Well,
I'm good.
But no E.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 19.
I got it at an 18, David. Okay, so here's proof in the pudding. We flew. We landed. We headed to a just hole in the wall, 5 miles from the airport. It was there.
No, it wasn't.
We went to the Publix for this one?
The first place had nothing that we were looking for.
Oh, my bad, must have been having some already.
Yeah.
Okay. But being that it's a Jim Beam product, it's probably distributed in every state that Jim Beams, which is all of them.
That's right. It's everywhere.
I can't knock it down. It's a 15 unavailability.
But it wasn't at that very first store we went to, so I'm knocking it down 1 point for that.
There you go.
Right?
Probably a proprietor's choice.
I think that's exactly what it is. And I think that a lot of proprietors, they'll go ahead and stock like a Jim Beam Fire, right? Jim Beam Peach, right? Maybe an Apple.
There you go.
Right? And then, of course, the white label, if they really wanted to go bougie, they might throw Jim Beam Black on the shelf, right? Yeah. But I think that's where they limit things. So I went 14, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I am, at least, flirting with the highest score of the season right now.
Hey, that's righteous.
Right? So I'm just telling you. Last one is design, maximum 10.
Okay, so it doesn't depart much from what I can tell. Remember we talked about the ability to grip the neck?
That's right.
For a pour.
That's right.
The profile, it's not too tall, doesn't fit in a standard cabinet or under the shelf. The label, I'm gonna lift it up now, I know it was the centerpiece. Good color, good contrast.
Well, you gave Jim Beam White Label a 5.
Yeah. Okay.
5 out of 10.
Which is halfway.
Yep.
But I like that it's not a white label. It's got the, I would say, if you'd say, hey, on a dark background and a gold lettering, I'm just gonna give it one tick higher. I'm gonna give it a 6. All right, we've done.
So what do you have overall?
I have a 75.
I've got an 85. So
that's all out of taste and drinkability between us, I believe.
That's right. It's interesting because so 75 was Chris Corne, so X bar is an 80 overall.
X bar.
I think before the next episode, I'm going to flash up all the scores that we've had for every single bourbon that we've had on the program.
Okay.
Through the first 3 seasons. 'Cause I think we've now passed episode 50.
Outstanding.
Which is something, right?
Yeah.
And I think like the highest score, and like you said, like the way you scored the taste and drinkability was just on a different scale.
Yes.
Right. The highest score I think was on a Ken Pluff episode.
That's right.
And Ken's not a bourbon guy.
I think Ken only drinks bourbon with you.
I'm sure Ken only drinks bourbon with me.
So I mean, there was an episode that I reviewed with you up on in Michigan, and we did Kentucky Cream of Kentucky. What was it called?
What was that? I think maybe Kentucky Cream. Maybe it was.
I absolutely enjoyed that product.
Yeah.
I really did. And I think our composite score on that one was 77.
Okay.
So I liked it more, I think, than you did. So the taste and drinkability moved up a bit. So it's a pretty tight band when we get together.
It is.
There's not a huge disparity. Like maybe that year you had a 82 was the high,
Yep.
Just a key takeaway, I think, is, don't be afraid to try something that, has a few bucks, $4 or $5 difference. And, but we're not talking about going out and finding an allocated bottle, and that's the only way you're going to find anything that you like.
No.
This is fine. This is great.
I think this is a great option if you've maybe had a Woodford Reserve double oaked.
Sure.
Right. And that's at that $55, $60 bottle, right? And you want something every day, right? This, I think, is a comparable. We didn't do head-to-head here, but this is a comparable if you like that additional richness to the flavor.
Yeah. Again, we did the white. Now this is what did they do to change it? And it was, I don't know how I scored it. Like it was a 69, a 70, whatever. This
65.
This stepped it up. So 10 points for me.
Yeah.
It's a value add, and if you're out there trying to find a product and you're like, oh, my wife's uncle is a snob, you know what? That's a him problem.
That's right.
Not a you problem.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to add this to the next cookout. It's fantastic.
This would be a great cookout.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Until next time, from Ordinary Guys Bourbon.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.